first of all, her nickname that she's become kind of a famous figure is the Notorious RBG. Obviously taken off of Notorious B.I.G., who's from Brooklyn. And so when Billy's also from Brooklyn, for those who aren't familiar yet, and you know, obviously when you call this 80-something-year-old tiny white woman judge character who, you know, is pretty soft-spoken and stuff, and you compare her to a braggadocious, over-the-top rapper like Notorious B.I.G., the size difference between the two of them, he's probably 2.5 times heavier than she is, I'm sure, was, you know. So I mean, there's like obviously all these contrasts. She's interviewed about this, and she says, well, actually we do have things in common. And there's this eruption of laughter, right? Like, ha ha ha, like I was making a joke. She's like, no, we're both from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Why the laughter? You know, I think
why the laughter?
We pick two things, and you know, it's especially the most superficial, useless things. You know, we pick things like height, and as an artist, I recognize like silhouette is important. You know, when you look at someone's silhouette, we immediately make a ton of assumptions about their capacity to kill us. You know, versus, you know, these are sort of really base things that are rooted in our evolutionary history. So you look at these two, and no, there's nothing. No, they're both from Brooklyn. They're both human.
And they're both wordsmiths.
They're both wordsmiths. Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, we can get crazy. We can go for days. I mean, they both have to eat several times a day. You know what I mean? Perhaps different amounts. You know what I mean?
different amounts, perhaps. Yeah. So you can imagine the feminist movement at this time being like, "Who the hell is this woman? You're the head of the women's equality team at the ACLU, and you're bringing fucking cases about men's rights to buy beer in Oklahoma? Like, this is crazy."
Yeah. But there's an underlying principle there, right? It's not, the point isn't to advance issues relevant to women. The point is to advance an equal principle. And once you secure that, if you can properly secure an equality principle, everyone wins, including women, particularly in a climate where this is kind of like resource scarcity in this case, you know, in a climate where the Supreme Court doesn't listen to these cases that's so backwards on women's rights in general. It's like, this is a tactic we can start to move on in the here and now while we build up the political clout and will to do whatever we have to do next. Exactly.
So you treat them like saints, and then they die, and you go, we're fucked.
Exactly.
You know, the saint died. We're done.
There's
Whereas
a way
if you treat them as a potential model, as a human that you can try to be like, well, then it's like, oh, they're dead. Okay, that's cool. We've been studying her. And her life, she doesn't, as to use a term they use in Latin America, you know, she didn't just die. She was planted, and she's going to produce seeds.